FPS Tracker Radio. Trekker Radio.
Playing the best tunes in town.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very unusual stream for me to do during the week, but it is a very special one. I have, first of all, a very long overdue FPS Trekker Radio to do, but on top of that, it is also Doom's birthday, and I will also be covering the Cacowards live, and yeah, it'll also have the screen available whenever it is available, but yeah, we'll go through some music in the meantime as well, while we go through the Cacowards themselves, and the next tracker is by the Hungarian tracker composer Nags. It is BHMDM, and give this a listen.
Here we go!
FPS Trekker Radio.
Incredible as space being both the observations of science and the evidence of our eyes. These are the inescapable assumptions that those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmland tonight are the vanguard of obeying armies of planet Mars.
FPS Trekker Radio.
Computer updated.
That was Nags' BHMDM tracker, and to this day I have no idea what that acronym even means. I think there was another one that he had that actually did have some sort of a freaking like description, or in the description there was actually the meaning of some other acronym that he used, but not this one. Also, oh, my freaking tracker music loop doesn't seem to be working. What the hell? I gotta fix that. Hey, Garcol! I quickly gotta fix my background music loop. For whatever reason it has, oh, I know why, actually. Wait the hell. I removed my freaking track. Oh, of course I did. Well, shit. I wonder if I actually have it in another folder. If I don't, then I'm actually gonna have to create it again. Sorry, no, I don't. Immediately we're having technical difficulty. We're very, very professional here in the FPS tracker radio. I think I can do it like this. I know which tracker it is. It's Radix's Sarsipius Arc, which is a fantastic little elevator music-y tracker thing to play on my the backgrounds of the talks of the FPS tracker radio. That's what I chose for that. And I've been thinking of choosing more than just that, especially by Radix. He makes quite nice little, I don't know, calm ambient sort of shopping music occasionally, and so do plenty of other freaking musicians. But let's see if I can, what is it, open MPT. I think that's what I use to convert it to a WAV file first. This is just gonna, you're seeing none of this, by the way, but I'm just gonna, well, use my commentating skills from all the way from my Quake days to actually just to talk what I'm actually saying here. Well, I'll be showing the screen in a moment anyway, especially when I am going to cover the Cacowards as well. Well, I'll probably show it right after I've gotten this right here. There we go. File, export, stream export. There we go. WAV. Microsoft R IFFES. I don't know what sample rate I should use. 44 kilohertz. There you go. Stereos, reciprocals, to Radix, and so on. Yes. Year was 1992 when he made that tracker. Holy hell. Sounds a little bit like more recent, I should say, but I don't know. Yeah, let's see if this works. I wonder how loud it is also, but we shall see in a moment when I a bit of Stream Deck thingamajig. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, so I still have to figure out the folder for it. SARS, there we go. I should have actually known that I used that very WAV file that was in the my tracker folder, basically. Now it works. I wonder how loud that is, also because I have my new pair of headphones. It's the Valco VMK20. Might have a tracker for me. Oh, hell yeah. God, so just suggest any freaking tracker for me, like in my DMs, and I'm heavily considering. Sicko, I don't know, I already have that. I even have it in my FPS tracker radio list, which I have recently made, by the way. I just made a tailored sort of FPS tracker radio list of trackers, because I have well over 2,000 trackers on my own list, but going through like the best of the best ones for a kind of a radio program like this just took forever to just do that. I mean, well, I still went through all that, but like especially every time I have to do a stream like this, it's always a kind of a pain to do just through 2,000 trackers, just the best ones into a queue, and that's it. That's basically how I do the lists. But yeah, I should have Elwood sick on Monday. Even on this very list, I have a bunch of Elwood trackers here listed, such as Little Man, Sweet Dreams, sick on Monday, of course, and a bunch of other stuff that I don't remember. Unknown Future, Experience, bunch of tracks by him. Fantastic Finnish tracker composer, but that is not what we're mainly talking about here. We will get to the trackers more, but I think now it is a good time to do the Cacowards, for which I will switch to my normal stream. This is going to be a very unusual FPS tracker radio where I'm actually using my regular stream layouts. So here we go. Also, I wonder, you should be able to hear the background music still, but it's coming from a different audio source. It's from a desktop audio this time. But where should I begin with this? I immediately just was curious and looked immediately at the multiplayer awards, and I don't know if I should start with them. Probably, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm all about. New setup, it's been a while. What do you mean, new setup? My entire room, yes. Like, music's gone a little quiet. Okay, I can understand why, because the desktop audio is slightly quieter than the FPS Tracker Radio setup I have for the stream. Yes, Godzilla, also, but since last time I think you were watching me, I was in my mom's and dad's place. Now I've moved on my own, and I'm in a completely different place, but not too far from them. But yeah, where should I begin with these? I mean, I wasn't surprised that the results were this. I, to be honest, haven't followed the multiplayer side of things even this year, let alone the rest of the single player stuff, other than Eternity 2, perhaps, at all, like during the whole year, because yeah, I've just been ridiculously busy. Too busy to follow anything Doom related in Doom World, at least. I barely just looked at Blue Sky and even Twitter for any like post by Doomers over there, but that's about it. I haven't really been very active on Doom World, aside from hosting Euroburst community sessions and now the Sentinel sessions, for which I'll get into in a moment. I mean, I've already done 2 streams of the Sentinel sessions, but I'll still talk about it a little bit. But regarding the Cacowards, yeah, I'm not too surprised, but what I should have expected was floppy disk mod being, of course, listed here. Floppy disk mod it started development last year, but since then it's gotten so many updates, and even to this day I believe it's still getting updates like hell. And I like this screenshot that Zen selected for this. He talked about it in the Hellforge Discord, how like he went through a bunch of this like screenshots, and it was like, yeah, this is the one. I love that. But let's start with Freyon Deathmatch. I mean, Freyon Deathmatch was in development for about the same time as how Euroburst has been, more or less. Yeah, 3 years. Ross King might want to correct me on that, but I remember it starting more or less around the end of 2021. And that was about the time when I also noticed that Euroburst is a thing. It's a European TSPG. And I became a moderator there and hosted a bunch of stuff, including Freyon Deathmatch. Very early betas of it, before it went into release candidates. Then they made a few more maps. They had so many breaks in between, but then, yeah, they ended up making a total of 24 maps, which is a very nice little set. And yeah, Rust King and the Rusty Shack community, this includes, I think, Razgris also, then Hey Daddy, also known as Hatred. Who else made a map? Rivi made one map, and Shannon made one map, Major Arlene. So that's about 5 mappers until when you count Rust King with them as well. I don't know if anybody else made anything, like outside of the Rusty Shack group. But it's a fantastic set. I do recommend playing it with or without Eon weapons, which is also nice that Zen gave a shared award to Eon weapons. It's also funny that Eon weapons itself has been around since, I think, 2014, more or less 10 years. And only now it's getting an award, but I really like that Zenero finally gave it one, especially a shared award with Freyon Deathmatch. It has its own new weapons, but let me read this stuff that Zen has written here. Ever since its Skulltag days, Zenjonum has long held an attractive pull for deathmatch mappers and modders alike. In some cases, map sets are made with specific weapon modification or rebalancing modifications in mind, such is the case with Freyon Deathmatch and Eon weapons. While either can be played on their own or mixed in with any particular other mod or map set or of the user's choosing, this intended combination from the authors is where the synergy truly shines. I couldn't agree more. It is. Freyon Deathmatch maps are just ideal with Eon weapons because it includes special weapons. I think that's about it, really. Just the weapon types are the unique part of Eon weapons, on top of the rebalancing of the vanilla weapons. But Freyon Deathmatch sports a library of 24 maps with a theme of unyielding cold, but certainly not devoid of color. Some may remember a vibrant theme established with these authors in previous projects they were a part of, such as 2019's Neon Deathmatch, that was made by the Mechanics Union, and I believe Rust King was also a part of that. Like, most of the Rusty Shack people were also part of the Mechanics Union still back then, and even today they've regrouped together to make a continuation of DBAB or Don't Be a Bitch, Last Man Standing, or Deathmatch if you will. It works in either one. I really like it in a Deathmatch. They're making DBAB 4 essentially, a continuation of maps, and now together with the Mechanics Union, but despite the frostburn flair of these maps, they play in remarkably warm fashion. You're greeted with arenas that are approachable but adorned with tasteful usage of Zenjonum visual and mechanical features. I was just about to say failures, what the hell. Features, but including but not limited to playable terrain that has been shaped to resemble glacial walls. Like on this map. I think this was map 7 in the set. The map order also changed over time, but yeah. The fog is very nice. It's kind of a like snowy mist over there, and yeah, the freaking glaciers are beautiful. All of these maps come from the hands of players themselves, long steeped in the realm of deathmatch. You can rightfully expect gameplay with a buttery smooth flow, where weapons are always within reach of a spawn and multiple paths are open to a player at any given point in time. I think with the weapons, I don't know if there's any spawns that really don't have a weapon underneath. They're just, you're immediately spawning on top of one. Or if not on top of one, then yeah, within reach. Basically just, it's right in front of you and you just walk forwards like you would instinctively do in deathmatch. Every time you respawn, you would immediately get a weapon. But this allows the competitors freedom of movement while not sacrificing the mood of the map. At least the fulfilling combat all across the arena and intense competition over control of powerful weapons. Indeed, it's rare to see a player hold dominion over one place in the map for long, as you can be vulnerable from multiple angles. Yeah, I like this design. The design of Freyon lends itself to a refreshing taste of constant mayhem. Speaking of weapons, Freyon Deathmatch is almost always paired with Aeon weapons for a reason. A slight retooling of the vanilla arsenal ensures weapons like the pistol, shotgun, and chain gun are far more attractive to players and can keep a scoreboard competitive. On top of that, variety is then bolstered by additions like a freeze rifle that is well at home in the frigid atmosphere, but you may instead opt to turn up the heat with a flamethrower or pin enemies down with a fancy laser chain gun. That is a fantastic weapon. And so is the freeze rifle. It is so satisfying to aim and hit people directly with it, just instantly killing them, shattering them into frozen pieces. A couple entries familiar to most players in Arena FPS also make an appearance. The lightning gun and railgun. All in all, you have a tremendous amount of tools to shred the opposition with. There's also the grenade launcher. I don't think Zen mentioned that here, yeah. The lightning gun, railgun, and grenade launcher are like the older additions to Aeon weapons. I don't know if Aeon weapons actually started as just a vanilla weapon rebalance thing, perhaps. But then as they made DBAB and Aeon Deathmatch and Neon Deathmatch, obviously the map placements, or the maps themselves got placements specifically for Aeon weapons, so you could actually just play that with the unique weapons. Normally you don't get those on vanilla deathmatch maps or other DM maps that aren't really designed for them normally. But let's see. Yeah, breaking the ice. God damn it, Zen. Has never been easier in this year's Doom multiplayer offerings, so there's no reason to get cold. Hey, you all out. Zen, you son of a bitch. Overjumping into a server running Freyon Deathmatch and Neon weapons. I just cannot understand. Oh, Garcel, the heavy redeem doesn't work. I gotta get rid of that. I freaking gotta remember to get rid of that. Anyway. Zen, you and your puns are lovely. Floppy disk mod. Yeah, I should have expected this. I mean, I'm not surprised. I should have expected it, to be honest. And yeah, it is a well-deserved award. Fantastic mod all in all. Where to even begin? First of all, even maintaining this mod just be an Herculean task and deserves credit on its own. Hell yeah. I've rarely seen so much crammed into a PK3. What? Pound was pretty chill. Nobody could have... Jimmy, you son of a... You I've rarely seen so much crammed into a PK3, so we'll just have to get right into it. Floppy disk mod comes from the mind of YouTuber Broleg, who at some point became dissatisfied with the lull in activity with Zenjonom's gameplay mods. Yeah, I actually remember that. As a result, he has dipped his toes into the multiplayer scene to create a titanic smorgasbord of self-contained game mode all under one roof. Floppy disk mod comes to mind as a bit of an ironic name, as it would truly take roughly 1,000 floppy disks in order to contain the amount of data that encompasses the project. The core project itself is over 600 megabytes, not including maps or music, so it is not for the faint of heart or of limited hard drive space. Yeah. Even by decent multiplayer modding standards, this blows a lot of bulkier projects out of the water. So, what is floppy disk mod? Oh god, I can't... Okay, no, it was shorter than I thought. I was thinking that Zen's explanation here would actually be a whole novel, basically, because there is so much you can do here. At the start of every round, players pile into a hop map, where the various game modes and maps are available for voting. Players will hit a switch associated with their indented game mode, and it'll then be off to the races, sometimes literally. Yeah, there are actually some racing minigames or game modes. I would be remiss if I did not name some of the options. You might appreciate the inclusion of the popular prop hunt, where one team has to hide as an inanimate object and hopefully not be found by the other team before time runs out. Many other similarly themed choices also follow in this vein, pitting one team against another, but there are exceptions. You may also experience Doomware-esque minigames, where players are cycled in one at a time while the rest of the server watches their struggle on the big screen from a movie theater. Oh yeah, I remember this. It is brilliant. Aptly titled Cinemaware. Yeah, that actually... It is an appropriate name for that, yeah. The madness continues with bite-sized versions of Zombie Horde, Gun Game, and even some speedrunning-inspired platforming where one slip-up means certain death. One iteration of floppy disk mod's maps had one team comprised of Hexen's monsters try to storm a castle and eliminate the other team who tried to hold the castle gates. If you're looking for variety in your Doom multiplayer experience, you've found it. Floppy disk mod takes every party game known in the multiplayer video game sphere and throws it all into one big mixer for all to enjoy. One may argue that you can rarely see anything resembling classic Doom under the hood, but it's clear that leveraging the engine's capability and features is where this mod shines, absolutely. Yeah, this has taken Zenjonom to its absolute limits in several fronts, and I like that it's also been a benchmarking testing ground for Zenjonom 3.2's betas as well, like the new releases... or upcoming updates, betas basically, where they've tested every single new feature as well to the very limit, and I really loved that, including voice chat and the scoreboard and everything. Is just fantastic. What was I? While participating in a jam-packed server, I was surprised to find that a few hours had disappeared like it was nothing. I've barely scratched the surface. The overwhelming selection of experiences available keeps you on your toes, and it becomes evident that floppy disk mod achieves its goal of mindless manic fun. Unfortunately, there's no maintained release thread anywhere that I know of where the project is tracked, so you'll have to use the power of Google or search for a floppy disk mod server in your favorite Zenjonom-capable server browser in order to experience the chaos when a server has a good chunk of people in it. Take note, multiplayer modders. Release threads can be very helpful to drive some outside traffic. I should know, yeah. I should know, I do know, in fact, because I have created a freaking release thread for Insanity Deathmatch and Insanity Survival. Yeah, definitely helps a lot. No, you goober, Kevin! What the hell? You son of a bitch. Anyway, that was it basically. I don't know if Zenero considered the same as like due to do a silver Cacoward kind of thing, because due to my knowledge, in last year's Cacowards gave the first ever silver Cacoward to a multiplayer project. That was EMZ's Vignettes of Deathmatch. Yeah, I don't know if Zen considered that for multiplayer as well, because he did the whole thing. Now Dew actually had a break of doing multiplayer writings. Would you believe that? It was, yeah. But Zen told it was fun writing these two at least. I would guess that like this was already a hell of a couple things to write. So yeah, I don't know if he really wanted to consider a silver award, but it would have been nice. Maybe next year, but yeah. I did look at the Miss Cacowards, and it had a bunch of islands. First of all, I like that it's just a plinth. There's just no cacodemon, no nothing. Just a freaking platform. I really like that. But a bunch of these had like multiplayer releases as well. That includes British Wattpack Season 11, Brit 11, Demon Eclipse is an old Zedum or Skulltag? I don't know. I think this this just runs on standard Zedum. Released at a time when GZDoom maps are not really okay, I guess it's Zedum, GZDoom, perhaps. Rush is I think a co-op compatible WOD, which I think I should try in co-op again. Probably in the Hellforge or in the Sentinel sessions. Really old. Really old GZDoom, okay. Play this from 2000. Should have a closer look at these because I really am curious how many of these would be co-op compatible first of all, but also of course playable, like like that they don't break. Job Maze, of course. I think also Sean or Drinky Bird in the Zenjonum Discord also said that like Job Maze has also barely been even. I don't think even that has a release thread really, and this link also will lead to the Doom Wiki page of the Jump Maze series basically. Oh, this is just the first one, okay. But yeah, like it's funny, like he said, we don't even have a release thread or anything like that. We've just been working on shit randomly, and we're mentioned twice in the Cacowards. It's great. But yeah, I'm actually curious to read the freaking Brit 11 and the Jump Maze stuff. I wonder that there's actually 4 pages of this shit, so I might read a few of these. Then I might play some music, and speaking of that, I might play some music right now as well. So let's switch back to the FPS tracker scene. There we go. Oh, that was very abrupt. It no longer had the freaking fading in and out like last time. I don't know why it did that, but yeah, it's fine. We're on the FPS tracker radio scene again, and the background music should be a little bit louder again. But let's see what we have in offer in the list itself. We have Nitro's Tiny Moves Big. And then Dark Halo's Far From Here, the Wishchester Sound. I think we could play probably 2 of the trackers, and then we'll get to two writings, and then play more music again. And yeah, we shall see. But yeah, next up is Nitro's Tiny Moves Big. And oh, I meant to actually do. I had a sort of a plan to do these jingles again because I think right after each talk, basically, I just do a jingle, then add the background music, and then do the music. So let's try this again.
FPS Tracker Radio.
There we go. So now we're playing Tiny Moves Big by Nitro, and after that we are playing. Oh no, never mind. This is no, never mind. I was looking at the list wrong. This is Alien and their tracker Transin, and it is a fantastic little trance tracker. I do recommend it. Give this a listen. We shall be back.
FPS Tracker Radio.
Playing the best tunes in town.
That was Aliens Trans In. Tracked by them, and yeah, now we shall get back to the Cacowards. There we go. I just let it be for a second, and then it fades out. There we go. Okay. There we go. I have the music loop again, and we'll be talking about or going through the British Wattpack Season 11 review by also Zen. Cacowards. Did I say Cacowards? I don't know. Cacowards. I may have replaced that D with an E. Well, anyway, this is an interesting read, actually. And Brit 11 itself is just a map. Well, I'll just say it afterwards. I'll read Zin's little review first. Were you to fire up a server browser for a multiplayer Doom in the early to mid 2000s? You were more likely than not to find a jam-packed deathmatch server running British Wattpack Season 11, better known as Brit 11. The successor to Brit 10 entered the scene towards the end of 1997, but truly hit its stride after the turn of the millennium. It featured a powerful set of midis to punctuate the howling custom death sound and ambient effects, defining the kind of mean-spirited attitude that would propagate through Doom multiplayer level design for years to come. Yeah, exactly, like, this is what I was about to say, that old DM mods like this, like Brit 10 and 11, that replaced like all the player sounds especially, were a huge inspiration to me when making Insanity Deathmatch, because all the Dwango sets that replaced the freaking player sounds with like either the heretic taking damage and dying sounds and being jibbed, I guess, like in Dwango 5, I believe, or like I think DC Dwango had some even more ridiculous sounds from Pulp Fiction and some cartoony like kind of death sound, and the lot. I mean, all of those, the sound decision for sound design are just or at the time were a huge freaking inspiration for me. And yeah, Brit 11 is no exception. It is just a magnificent small little DM set. I mean, by small I mean it has relatively small maps. Of course it would have, because it's 1997, and all you had at the time, I believe, was just the DOS port, if I'm not mistaken, that only supported like 4 players. That's what this was really developed for. But nowadays, of course, it's a different thing, unless you're playing on like Classic Gaming Arena and really want to play a DOSBox deathmatch kind of thing, which I have, and it is very interesting. It is super fun as well, playing, experiencing the whole deathmatch thing under DOS limits. But yeah, let's see. It is worthwhile to note that the deathmatch maps commonly played today were built off of the lessons learned in the 90s, and Brit 11 was one of the first quality sets to expound upon the importance of a non-linear flow. I've never heard that word. Expound! 5 bite-sized maps allowed for close quarters chaos, letting the players feel pressure from nearby spawns. Okay, I guess it was small as well. I forgot how many maps there were. But always letting them have a fair shot at gameplay. Even still, chaos was rampant, with many of the spawns allowing for a quick weapon pickup to get right back into the action. Oh yeah, there's no longer any spoilers, Gloxin. I've already gone through the... That was the first thing I went through, and congratulations, you worked on it. Yes, I basically just immediately looked into the multiplayer wars, and I'm not surprised. I should have expected floppy disk mod to be there though, but yeah, I'm not surprised it did one. Congratulations, huge congrats. Let's see. If you hadn't had your fill of a Doomguy massacre by that point, there's even a 6th map that acts as both a credit showcase for the rest of the sets, as well as a truly claustrophobic spawn fragger's paradise. Yeah, that was also a thing in the Brit sets, I think, where you're gonna still just frag the other players. Very small, cramped room that only had the players' names in there. That's pretty much it. This set of maps, fit for both duel and deathmatch sessions, also presented a tasteful visual design that gave the impression these levels were not simply just thrown together, but gave off an air of being made with care and purpose. The backdrop of metal and brown brick allowed for excellent visual acuity, letting the player pick out of their opponents often bright-colored marine swiftly, yeah. That, along with the sprinkling of spawns at every corner of these maps, essentially assured you were always finding an opponent to chase at any given point. Direction of open design with only a door or two in side areas meant that there was little ability to truly camp any part of these maps for an extended period of time. Yeah, I mean, especially with the fact that, like, the sprinkling of spawns, yeah, you could hear them, you could see them, like the Brit developers, the British Wattback people, at least in these later sets, especially for 10 and 11, like, they knew that, okay, these maps really need to be just smaller so everybody knows where everybody is. We don't want to make any large Dwango maps that are just hugely experimental, don't flow at all, and have, like, crappy weapons, basically, in different places. So yeah, they learned so much from, like, Dwango sets. They learned so much from other people's just single maps or whatever, and it was amazing time to learn, like, deathmatch mapping, especially. Let's see. The direction of open design with only a door or two inside areas meant that there was little ability to truly camp any part of these. Yeah. Every time I connect to a Brit 11 server, I'm taken back to a time where players were more than eager to jump right into the chaos as fast as possible and duking it out with the rest of the server to secure a shot or two with a BFG. Another thing that all the Brit 11 maps did very well was making it so that the BFG or plasma rifle were in places that posed a distinct danger for the player going for them. Be it a lift that catapulted you right into the open of a high traffic area or located at the end of a hallway that you had to fight your way back out of due to other players wanting the weapon for themselves. This has really made dominating a map difficult, which in turn made it immensely rewarding. With the advent of client-server architecture and multiplayer source boards, server hosts threw up anything and everything for players to jam on. A few level sets in particular stood out and, more importantly, stood the test of time. Brit 11 more than just showed us a replayable formula of well-crafted deathmatch WODs that emphasized organic flow through their arenas. It was also just damn good fun, yeah. I have done, like, at least 2 sessions in Eurobros community sessions, and I would probably just do another one very soon in the Sentinel sessions in Brit 11. It also did have Brit 10, and it also had the execution deathmatches. It was basically the what's called the Brexecution set. Well, I just call it Exec and Brit. It just has the execution deathmatches maps, and then it has Brit 10 and 11 put together in one WOD. I think that's put together by Doomkit, if I'm not mistaken. Perhaps. But yeah, that was basically it. I think I'll talk about, I don't know about Rush. I'll try to search more, there was jump maze on this page as well. I'll probably play a bit of music and then talk about jump maze. As far as the, like, co-op compatible map sets go, I think I'll just go through stuff that I think should be good to host for, like, a session that would work in co-op first of all, because yeah, obviously I just want the map to work in A, co-op, and B, is enjoying them. And most of these single player sets that I've noticed, there's more and more stuff in MBF21 format, I've noticed. Like, even more than last year, I might argue. I haven't even really counted how many projects did use MBF21, but like every other, if not every single one in some pages, is just MBF21. That's MBF, but yeah. That's limit removing, but it's only 9 maps. That's another thing as well. If it is co-op compatible, then it's only just a few maps. Like this one is only 7, unless they are large enough, which I really need to go through and see if they actually just are that long. In which case, I might host a session on a map set like that. But yeah, Simulacrum by Moomy and Milden was also in MBF21. There was so much. That's boom compatible, but it's a single map. What to do? Yeah, I should. It's about time I created any freaking map of my own, basically. That's definitely not gonna take time. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's MBF21. Yeah, it's just more and more popular. I can definitely see that from these Cacowards alone. I think this was page 2. Nostalgic Entropy was MPF 21. Necromantic Thirst, I believe, was Boom compatible, actually. And this also got a more death. I might have to look at that. Curse of Blood, MPF 21. Like, there's just most of this stuff, MPF 21. Hell yeah. Except hell no for me, because Sanjonum doesn't really support it yet. Maximp exclusively focused on co-op. I mean, I have thought of that, and how would that even work? Like, you really need... It can't be played in a public session, really, if you really need the other player to like, progress the level with you. Like, if you need at least two players to progress the maps, that it's not going to work in first of all, a public session, maybe. I don't know. And secondly, yeah, definitely not hosted in a public server. It's kind of like Hexen. You really need, like, if you want to play multiplayer, you really need just another player for it, and somebody you know who can play with you and who is just able and willing to play with you, basically. It's and Hexen is the exception that you need to host a private server event, but yeah, I don't know. But I'll go through, I guess, Jump Maze's article, but before that I will play some more music. I'll leave the page over there and switch over back to the FPS Tracker Radio scene. And up next for music we have Spellbound by Cree. And yeah, I shall do the jingle again. I should have actually just not said that before doing the jingle. Well, I will do it. Let's do it again.
FPS Tracker Radio.
So up next we have, yes, Spellbound by Cree, and this is just one of my freaking favorite trackers of all time, especially drum and bass tracks. It's not as drum and bassy as you would think. It has the sort of drum and bassy riff, but it is very ambient, and what I really like about this track is just the way it starts already. It just sounds like Finland, and this, especially during the winter. This is also made by another Finn. Most of these tracks are made by Finns, just all over freaking Finland. But yeah, this one especially by Cree is just the most marvelous piece of freaking work by them. I suggest giving it a listen. This is indeed Cree and their track Spellbound.
FPS Tracker Radio.
Playing the best tunes in town.
best part in this track is yet to come only. I really freaking love ambient, sort of wintry drum and bass tracks like this. This is Spellbound by the Finnish tracker composer Cree. It's only halfway through, and the only best part is coming out right now.
FPS Tracker Radio.
Man, there is just no other track like this. Or if there is, I have yet to find it. And finding trackers like this is already obscure enough. That was Spellbound by Cree, and thank you very much, Maim, for the Prime sub. Eventually the 100 paycheck will come. I like that. Thank you very much. And yeah, thank you, Maim, for the very generous offer. I will very much accept those. You know where to find me in Discord anyway. You can send me those in the DMs and everywhere else. But let's get back to the reading the Cacowards. But before that, I think Caleb has something to say.
FPS Tracker Radio.
Hold on, let me buzz you in. When you get to hell, tell them I sent you. You'll get a group discount.
I just love mixing Audacity clips like that. Anyway, let's get back into it. Oh, that was very quick again. Sorry about that. It's very abrupt every time the freaking transition does that. But time to read the jump maze stuff. This was actually an article done by Dew, or review done by Dew. So Dew did a few things. Zanero did just the whole multiplayer thing. He wanted to do one thing over here, at least in the missed Cacowards, and I still like that freaking missing Cacoward on the plinth itself. But let's read through the Jump Maze review by Dew, made by James Cyber Squibble and the Jump Maze community between 2009 and 2020. It's a whole freaking series. This Miss Cacoward should stand out among the others at least a little bit, because it isn't a contentious snub of a map set proving its worth later, or the responsible parties missing out on a mod that flew under the radar. The lack of any awards for Jump Maze stems from long-running ignorance of an entire successful, albeit niche, genre. First released in 2009 by Cyber and his mapping squad, the Sojourner mod and mapset combo presents players with obstacle courses, jumping sequences, and movement-based challenges. Monsters are rarely present and only as extra spice, not the focus. It was followed by Jump Maze 2 in 2013 and Jump Maze X in 2020, plus several community mapping projects complementing the official trilogy. Damn, that is a lot to miss. Hell yeah, it is. Especially between, or in the span of 11 years. The concept of empty puzzle maps is widely accepted and appreciated nowadays, but back then the genre spoke to a much narrower audience. Perhaps surprisingly to for the modern reader, most of it resided in the online multiplayer space among players already intimate with the harsh skill requirements of deathmatch and capture the flag. People already familiar with the limits of SR 40 or 50 and jump length who spent their free time mindlessly running back and forth in idle mode in CTF maps while chatting with friends. Why not put those skills to a dedicated test, eh? Hell yeah. Very much agree with that. Technically, it was not a novelty. I like the screenshot, by the way. We already had 2006's ZD Race and Ice Race, ZDM is parallel track racing, and we had rocket jumping, a genre Cyber himself subscribed to. It was the marrying of those concepts that perfected the formula, though. Rocket jumping is mechanically hard and filters newbies without mercy. ZD Race is simplistic and limiting in its parallelism requirements. If we use simple jumping and up the difficulty from just zooming around in perfect SR50 lines, we get magic. Then based on demand, Jump Maze 2 introduced massive support for racing instead of single-player puzzle solving. Players could compete directly and get ranked, or all sorts of stats would get shown in the HUD, and most importantly, they got persistent record keeping. That's right, servers would remember your times, and you could spend all your free time grinding runs to depose the local record holder without the hassle of sending demos to an archive or whatever. Finally, Jump Maze X was a product of a mature community that needed increased challenge, like a polished DLC that once again filters the newbies but fine-tunes the fundamentals for the true fans. Yeah, it's actually, I think, with the record keeping, I think they talked about the databases, which is a fantastic feature in Syndrome. You can actually just develop your own like database stuff and build your mod around it to keep record of stats for the player and everything. I really like that, especially with Jump Maze. And there are a few mods that utilize databases. It is something else to get into, like learning it all. What does my shirt say? It has QHLand 2024 Masters on the freaking chest there, or on my heart, and then it has Capelli 47 in the back. I got this from QHLand 2024 in this January. It is a nice shirt. Yeah, thank you very much. So how is it possible that such a gem was overlooked with such consistency? Well, I don't think Scuba Steve knows what a jump maze is to this day. And when I took over the multiplayer section, I heard of it at some point. I tried it, and then I abandoned it out of fear its specific physics would interfere with my finely attuned rocket jumping muscle memory. How banal or absurd. How is it possible no one ever kicked me in the ankle over this? And if you don't believe me, go watch these amazing videos showing some past tournaments and record compilations. And be sure to notice how many people seem to hang around in the runs. Just like rocket jumping servers used to be, Jump Maze is a hangout for friends. And that is a mark of longevity. Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's a nice article by Dew. I would actually, if he wrote any more than just that. But yeah, it is fantastic that, yeah, Jump Maze was brilliantly covered over here. Terminus wrote about Mayhem 2018. Violence by D79 was covered also by Terminus. Terminus wrote a lot of stuff. Carbamari, Nojaba, Shiva, Cenero. Oh, ZDM and CTF. I think we could give that a read next after some music, but I want to see what... oh wait, I think... co-op build, yeah. Well, there you go. Garcel, you mentioned co-op build. There it is. It's written by Dynamo. Hard Doom. I'm definitely going to see if some of these are co-op. I think something that was written by Dynamo, I think it was in the next page, there was a co-op compatible WAD that I've also played, but which one was it? Oh, Dark Tartarus, of course. Well, I don't know if it was co-op compatible. It says co-op slaughter, but there are some maps that I think might break in there, I don't know. But yeah, we've played it in the Hellforge at least. I don't know if we've played it in Lexicon, like through Lexicon basically, because it's included in there, but I don't know if we've done a Dark Tartarus co-op session like in Euroburrows. Certainly not in the Sentinel session yet, it's just started. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll give, what the hell is it? Z-Damon CTF's little article a read. And if you want to read most of this yourself, you can link the main page over here. That's the stuff that I am reading on Doomworld. And I think, yeah, I will indeed do the Z-Damon CTF. It was on page 2, yes, at the very bottom. And I think that might be all that I'm reading. I don't know if I'm covering anything else. I'll go through on my own time map sets here that are co-op compatible, especially these older ones. I'm very interested in doing Rush again. I don't know if we did that in Euroburrows, but we did that in the Hellforge, I think. It's definitely I definitely want to do that in co-op at some point. But yeah, I'll give this a read. But before that, some more music. There we go. And let's see what we have in the store here.
FPS Tracker Radio.
I should have actually ended the background music just as I pressed the jingle, but we have Tokyo Dome Mix. I think I might do something else that is a bit shorter, because I think this is about, what, 9 minutes? Yeah, let's do something else. What I had, what was it again? It was Viper. Let's do the freaking Westchester sound that I thought was gonna be in one of the next 3 trackers, but now it's gonna be the next tracker. In fact, yes. Moved that up to the list, and this was composed by whoever it was, Anubis. Anubis does a bunch of nice little, occasionally like drum and bass tracks, occasionally some like, I don't know, trance tracks and everything else. It's just better you search Anubis from either Mod Archive or Modland themselves and download the trackers or preview them. I don't think, yeah, Modland doesn't have a preview thing, but Mod Archive does. And yeah, I do recommend giving all of those tracks a little listen. But this is Westchester Sound by Anubis.
FPS Tracker Radio.
What a classic sample.
Check this out. Check this out. Check this out.
That's Worcester Sound by Anubis, and I said this was drum and bass. I don't know if I said that this specifically is drum and bass, but this is more like an ambient jungle rather than ambient jam and bass. Yes, jam and bass. Hell yeah! But yeah, it's a brilliant little ambient little tracker. Love stuff like this. But now it is almost time to get into the. Reading the last bit of thing on the Cacowards that I will read. You can read more into it from the Doomworld's Cacowards thread that I'll just linked in the chat itself. You should still be able to see it over there. Doomworld.com/Cacowards/2024/index. I don't know if you need the index part, but there is the link if you want to see that. But yeah, now it is time for the last review I will read, and that is Z-Damon CTF.
FPS Tracker Radio. Impressive.
And as soon as I can switch there we go, to the correct scene, I will read Z-Damon CTF, which is Zenero's review of that, or the missed Cacowards thing. Made between 2004 and 2005 by Leximax, Earthquake, and Co. and the other people involved. I like that Leximax started in like Z-Daemon. I may be wrong on that, but they went from Z-Daemon to Automix and developed it later on, which is interesting. But Z-Daemon CTF is indeed a classic, as the freaking first few sentences already say. Monumental, inspirational, foundational. These are just a few choice words to describe the impact of Z-Daemon CTF on multiplayer Doom's history. For the first decade of Doom's PvP life, you had your choice of maps as to play deathmatch on, and occasionally a cleverly implemented community game mode like Death Tag, which I have to look into. By 2004, there came a meteoric impact in the form of a Capture the Flag support on Z-Daemon, accompanied by a groundbreaking 10-map WOD. This became front and center of the Doom multiplayer experience, defining both casual and competitive play for many years to come. Players were thrust into a completely new environment for Doom, featuring teams of Red Marines facing down Blue Marines in a quest to accomplish the most captures of the enemy flag. Sounds simple in concept, doesn't it? Try slipping past multiple players armed with super shotguns or rocket launchers. The challenge in the execution was an enormous draw, with each of the first 10 maps being the first stabs at depicting what a Doom CTF map should look and feel like. Even today, multiple Z-Daemon CTF maps feature prominently in best-of, most-played compilation packs. Also like the screenshot, and I like that Z-Daemon CTF had its own sort of flag sprite at the time. I should look into that. It's kind of a tall flag, or like the flag itself isn't tall, I guess, but like the flag portion is just very small. Small little flag. The first set of maps was very quickly followed by an additional 10, doubling the map offering within just months of CTF's debut in a major multiplayer source board. It's ugly. No, I like that. I like the charm of that. I like the first few sprites. I mean, yeah, I would choose the frigging Automix CTF flags over these. But yeah, I like where even designing the flag sprites started. Let's see. Barely a year later, the third and final official pack came out. It is this combined set of 30 maps that dominated the public server listing for years. I think it still does. I don't know. It's still part of like many CTF compilations today. Moreover, each of the map packs had iconic areas fashioned by multiplayer community veterans. Excuse me. Apart from Leximax and Earthquake, who led different segments of the CTF project, you'd run into maps by Exel, Ralphus, the Ultimate Doomer, and more. The variety of the maps allowed for players over the years to hone their skills and develop their playstyles as well. To say ZDCTF was just a public spectacle would be to do it a grave injustice, as old-school clans would swarm public servers for impromptu scrimmages full of spectacle. So too would they begin to mold the first shapes of a competitive CTF format. Simply put, Z-Daemon CTF was the catalyst of competitive team-based Doom that players and teams would use to sharpen themselves against each other for years on end, where such maps were leveraged season after season in leagues like the International Doom League, or IDL. It's difficult to say what could have happened were the maps not of the quality that they were on release. However, it is easy to say that even today, you could load up a server hosting ZDCTF with a big group of friends and have an awesome time. For those of us in our teens and young adult years during the heyday of Z-Daemon, it was captivating and awe-inspiring. Nowadays, it is a portrait into the past where publicly accessible multiplayer Doom was at its hottest. And while more modern map sets have expounded further on the CTF formula, there it is again, the word expounded, it is impossible to deny the titanic influence on Z-Daemon CTF. Hell freaking yeah. I mean, yeah, to this day, it's, like I said, included in several, like, pub and private, like, CTF map compilations, including the Rampage pub compilation. If not, also some of the Z-Daemon CTF maps might also appear in the private compilation as well. Some of those maps are just so good. Like, yeah, Rampage Brave as well, okay. Yeah. Also, the heavy redeem doesn't work, especially, like, even if it would work, you wouldn't do that in FPS Tracker Radio, but, like, I just gotta get rid of the channel point option altogether. Guards already tried that, it didn't work. Yeah, it is just a hell of a classic. I gotta look more into the WAD itself, just as it is, because yeah, and especially Death Tag. I mean, I'm such a freaking youngin in the freaking Doom multiplayer scene, let alone Doom scene in general, that I don't even know what Death Tag is. What the hell? I completely missed this. It's a team multiplayer game type requiring 4 players that was created by... First appeared on Dwango servers in Dallas, and initial playtesters included John Romero. The gameplay requires a custom community-made level, and it can run in vanilla Doom deathmatch mode without the need for a source port. The game type predates the influx of multiplayer ports such as Zenjonum. Gameplay: 2 multiplayer teams of 2. One player goes to the enemy base while the other stays at the radiation suit door. The player in the enemy base hits the switch, which unlocks the radiation suit in your own base. The player who gets the radiation suit will teleport to the enemy base, and they must run to the scoring line. The first team to score 5 times wins. So... 1 flag CTF? If there's just 1 radiation suit. 1 player goes to the enemy while the other stays at the radiation suit door. Technically 1 flag CTF, but in a special kind of way. Interesting. Color-coded team scores are shown on custom wall textures that update each time the scoring line is reached. Oh, when a winner is declared, teams can then restart the level or exit to the next level. You can't really spend points on anything, sorry. Except highlighting your message, maybe. Came up with an idea of how you could do CS without any scripting, very similar to this. Yeah, I really like this as well. It is, yeah, kind of a special thing. Special kind of 1 flag CTF game mode, if I understand this correctly. That there's only 1 radiation suit, and that there must be a player in the enemy base pressing the switch in order for the other player to get the radiation suit and then walk to a special location to capture. I would guess so, yeah. There's even an ultimate diff tag, I guess, for Ultimate Doom. Interesting. Mountain King, and then UDM 1 was specifically for Death Tag, or did it just have different levels specifically for Death Tag, and then the other levels were just for Deathmatch? I don't know. UDM had Death Tag. I'm equally surprised. Oh yeah, it does. So it has 16 DM maps and then 2 Death Tag maps. That's interesting. It's in 2002. Hell freaking yeah. There were only about, 4 map sets for Death Tag. It's interesting. I wonder if that could be recreated, if it already isn't recreated in Zenjonum, for example. It certainly probably wasn't in... Well, technically Skull Tag is... Like the game mode Skull Tag is kind of similar, maybe? No, it is. You have to, like, somebody has to go and pick up the skull. It's just kind of... Yeah, that isn't 1 flag CTF. That's, yeah, still kind of like special, normal CTF. CTF, but in steroids. Something like that. That's interesting, yeah. Well, that is pretty much it for all I can read, or all I will read on this stream, because I have only so much time and I have so many other topics regarding Doom news and Boomer Shooter news from November and even recently December, and yeah, I have all of those to read, and I will go through those during the next music piece that I will do. And I think I won't be using this screen or this view where you can see me and basically my monitor. I won't be using that anymore because I'll just be talking about stuff and not really showing anything on screen, I don't think. Yeah, so I'll just be using the normal FPS Tracker Radio view, and I will go to it right now. Alright, what do we have in the realm of music? We have Falcon's Tribal Cloud number 9. Man, I'm mostly getting ambient stuff on the list right now. I will probably after this play Syra Trippin. I think right after even, yeah. Why not just two trackers in a row? Because Tribal Cloud number 9 is only 2 minutes more or less, and then Syra Trippin or Sura Trippin as it's pronounced in Swedish, which is supposed to be. Sura Trippin by Norfair is about 3 minutes. Oh, what was it again? The whole no, it's even 4 minutes. What the hell? I thought it was much shorter. Hell yeah. We'll listen to about 7 minutes worth of trackers, and then we'll be right back with some other news from Doom and Boomer shooters. And this is indeed Trouble Cloud number 9 by Falcon, a Polish tracker composer.
FPS Tracker Radio.
Playing the best tunes in town.
FPS Tracker Radio.
Playing the best tunes in town.
This is definitive cyberspace kind of acid trance music by Swedish tracker composer Norfair, and it isn't a wonder. I mean, the tracker name itself is in Swedish, it's Sura Trippen, which means acid trip in English, which is quite fitting. This is quite a tracker indeed. But let's get on with the news itself, and at this point it's very old news, but I'll cover some November stuff still in here, and I'll start with the very old news that the 20th anniversary of Half-Life 2 was on November 16th, 2024, and I mainly wanted to talk about the documentary that Valve released about it, that covered just basically the entire history of Half-Life 2 very, very profoundly. Just everything behind the scenes, everything just like during its development, and like all the demos they went through. I just especially love how many stages it went through, and like the very early Source engine. I think the first ever demo that I don't think they showed, but they had recorded some freaking footage of the first ever iteration of the Source engine was very close to Gold Source, with just quite a few additions like the facial animations and I think that's about it. I don't know, a destructible environment, but yeah, not much of a physics engine yet. And then later on, when they did add a bunch of physics stuff, they made a demo out of it, but then they realized that, like when looking at the demo, they even realized themselves that no, this is not ready yet. They did make the demo though, and it was very, very interesting to watch in the documentary, and like, well, even outside of it, there's actually separate videos on Valve's own YouTube channel of the E3 2002, or what was supposed to be the E3 2002 demo, and then the E3 2003 demo, which was shown, and it even had like a live audience watching the thing, and Valve's own developers or presenters like presenting the game. And I've even covered that about 5 years ago, I think, yeah, in my, what is it, the freaking, I don't know how to even describe the series. It's kind of a retro FPS streaming series where I went through different like classic FPS games, including Half-Life, Half-Life 2, and everything in between, by Valve, in a whole freaking Valve themed season for the stream series, and it was called Goals of FPS. You could actually see a freaking logo of Goals of FPS rotating where Alpha AT's or QC Doom Edition's logo is right now on the screen. And yeah, I did that for freaking, I don't know, since 2018 to 2021, pretty much after my military service, but then I was focused more on Doom. But yeah, in Goals of FPS in 2019, I covered Valve's games from Half-Life to, I think, all over to even Portal 2. And then, yeah, when I got to Half-Life 2, I did showcase like a few of the freaking E3 demos, E3 2003 and 4 mainly. And yeah, in 2003, like, I think in the documentary, they said, Valve's developers that worked on Half-Life 2 said that there was a hell of a line, like hell of a queue, to see the gameplay, and they had to probably do multiple like showcases, like many showcases of the thing, because the booth was only so small, and there was a heck of a line that everybody just wanted to see the damn thing. And I think even Shigeru Miyamoto was there as well, and he himself said, according to the documentary anyway, that it was very promising. And yeah, I do recommend giving Half-Life 2's 20th anniversary documentary a watch. It's on Valve's YouTube channel. You can find it in probably well, definitely on the most recent videos, but probably right now, maybe the most watched as well. I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't checked recently, but I watched it about a month ago, or 3 weeks ago, and yeah, it was already popping, because hell yeah, people are waiting for that. Now they have nothing for 25 years. Yeah, we shall see. But yeah, it is just an amazing. That's all I really wanted to say about Half-Life 2's 20th anniversary. It's funny because I pretty much covered Half-Life 2 and Ghosts of FPS on its 15th anniversary in 2019, and I didn't even realize that, I don't think. Which is quite funny. I might actually have to go back, because I don't remember much anything from those days. So I might have to go actually back and watch most of the Ghosts of FPS stuff, or at least the stuff that I did with the presentations, like going through the E3 demos and bit of Half-Life 2's and Half-Lives, like the first game's development history in there. But yeah, this is even broader. Like, there was so much more than people had ever even discovered, and this is so much more like told by Valve ever about Half-Life and Half-Life 2. And the Half-Life 1 documentary as well is amazing. And yeah, I like that. I do recommend giving it a watch. Half-Life 1's 25th anniversary was last year, in fact, November something 2023. And yeah, I do recommend giving both of these documentaries a watch. Definitely, it was a pleasure doing the whole thing, or watching through the whole thing.
FPS Tracker Radio.
Playing the best tunes in town.
But now we shall go back to the music itself, and I wonder what I should do here. Oh, hell yeah, I know what I'll do. I'll do a bit of a kind of a tracker from 2020. Is it 2020 or 2021? No, I was wrong. It was 2019. Still very recent. Also 5 years old. Just like Ghosts of FPS's Valve timed season, just like I mentioned. This is a tracker from 8BM, a very freaking amazing electronic musician that does his music in tracker format. And this is just bassy as all hell. And I think after this, it is only appropriate that we play Warhead by Nitro from way before this next tracker, but still a very fantastic one. I'm planning to include Warhead, like the tracker itself, in a deathmatch map set that I have just a brilliant theme in mind for. I just have to get into deathmatch mapping. That's the only freaking issue. But next, Transformata by 8BM.
FPS Tracker Radio. Impressive.
Coast to coast, I drop bombs on you motherfuckers.
That was The Warhead by Nitro, a Finnish tracker composer. I don't actually know where 8BM is from. The composer you heard before Nitro's The Warhead with their track Transformata. And holy hell, that is just a hell of a banger for like just barely a modern tracker. Like it's amazing that it is made in that sort of a quality, but still in such a format that like I think it would just fit so well for the turn of the millennium, and that just has very much that sound. But let's see with the news again. Oh yes, speaking of anniversaries, the 25th anniversary of Quake 3 Arena was on December 2nd, 2024. And yeah, it was just amazing. 25 freaking years of definitive arena FPS fragging. That's basically what Quake 3 Arena was. And I still wonder, because I've been talking about in previous FPS Tracker Radio streams, I've been talking about a potential Night Dive remaster of Quake 3 as well. I think it might just happen. It didn't happen on its anniversary, obviously, but I think it just might happen. They've already done Quake 1, they've already done Quake 2. They didn't do them on their anniversaries, though. Not even Quake 1, which was on... No, never mind. I think Quake 1 was, but it was still late. It was on the same, like... Well, not the same year, but it was 2021, which was basically like the year of Quake's 20th... No, what the hell? 25th anniversary. Am I right? Yes. And then 2023, they did Quake 2, or released Quake 2 Enhanced. And that wasn't on Quake 2's anniversary year. That was on 2023, not 2022. Or like, not a 5 or a 0 anniversary, what I mean. Like, it was already... Quake 2 was already 26 years old. And they introduced that in QuakeCon. I don't know if they might do a Quake 3, but they could do so much stuff on it. Like, just refine the whole thing, obviously include maybe some quality of life stuff. I don't know if they could do the same thing as with Quake 2, with including cut content. I think that would probably not be good for a multiplayer focused Quake title, which where Quake 3 was. But I'm trying to go through the freaking stuff that I wrote in the previous FPS Tracker stuff. Like, they could enhance the freaking cutscenes again, like they did on Quake 2's cutscenes. It was incredible to see all that. It's just magnificent. But they could, yeah, well, obviously also to include the freaking Team Arena expansion into one game, like they have done in Quake 1 and 2. Could probably do again HD models. They could... I don't know about the freaking sounds themselves, though. I think they're already high definition enough. I don't think Night Dive really needs to touch that. But they could include some mods, like probably CPMA? I don't know. Although I'm pretty sure the CPMA players themselves will just stick with CPMA itself, because it might be better for multiplayer itself. But yeah, I think regardless of whether people want it or not, because most people probably will play on just the standard Quake 3 with the proper Quake 3 netcode, I think it might happen. Also, console releases, hell yeah. And yeah, like the PlayStation 2 and the Dreamcast ones, they could include that in the remaster. And speaking of consoles themselves, they could probably release Quake 3 on the modern consoles as well. Like they, I think, have done for Quake 1 and Quake 2's enhanced versions. I mean, it has crossplay, basically, so yeah. Night Dive's netcode is what it is. I think it just highly depends on, like, I don't know what I think it's peer-to-peer, but I can't really tell. I think it might be. It's choosing, like, the server from the host of the game, or if it isn't choosing the server, then the host of the game itself is the server, quote-unquote. Which means it might be peer-to-peer, but I don't know. I've experienced worse netcodes in games. It really depends where the host is from, and that'll determine the stability of your connection. Like, if the host is from a region that is ridiculously far from you, and the hosts themselves don't really have much of an internet, then yeah, you're not going to have a pleasant experience. You're probably lagging a lot, you're warping around a lot, you'll get killed in unfair situations that you really don't witness them being right. The host might still, but yeah, you might not. And but then there's, yeah, the other end. If the host is like from the same continent, let's say that, and they have a relatively good internet, or even if they don't, I think if they're just close enough to you, I think they, or the game itself might be playable. I've experienced that, at least in the Quake 1 and Quake 2 games. But if the host is overseas, at least with Quake 1 I experienced, like the Night Dive port of Quake 1, I experienced delayed shots a little bit. But I don't know if Quake 2's, or if they rectified a thing like that, then they slightly improved the netcode on that front, because I don't think I experienced many delay shots, or if I did, then the host wasn't very far away or further than overseas, because I think I played with people from the US. Yeah, I've played with Dark Shadow Rage actually, and the netcode was fine. Better than Quake 1's netcode, or the Night Dive port's netcode anyway. So yeah, it is going to be interesting what they might do with Quake 3. I think they might still do it. Like, I don't know. If anything, I think they just want console people to be able to play with PC people, and that is a really appropriate way to do that. And I think in general, like, they already love Quake 1 and 2, and probably the whole franchise as well. So I think they might be interested in bringing just newer people the beginning of the arena FPS, like the definitive arena FPS, really, like it was. And especially if it's going to be really accessible, then yeah, that is very likely going to happen. I don't know. I just like to see, as well as Dark Shadow Rage, who I talked to about, like, I'd really like to see the console releases on PC finally, like the PS2. I think it was called the Quake 3 Revolution, something like that. It started with Re and then ended in Shun, Tion. Retribution? No, I think it was Revolution. Quake 3 Revolution on PS2, and then on the Sega Dreamcast, I think it was just Quake 3, but that's also an interesting port. I think there are servers still running for that, and you could play that with a keyboard and mouse. That was like Sega peripherals. I don't think you could play with a computer keyboard and mouse, but Sega's own peripherals. Like, it had its own peripheral, it had its own keyboard and mouse, and you could play it with that. And playing the levels and all the other stuff that the console ports introduced would be, I think, a lot of fun to play on PC. Like, they've already done Quake 1 64 on the Quake Enhanced port, they've done Quake 2 64 on the Enhanced Quake 2 port. They've even included, I don't know if it's an official add-on now, of Quake 2 on the PS1, which wasn't too different from, I guess, the main game. Maybe it had a few cut levels, but a few gameplay changes, and like the pace in combat, obviously, because it was on the PS1. But yeah, I think it is at least a mod on Quake 2 Enhanced. Yeah, it would be really fun to see if Quake 3 was given the same treatment. I think it would really deserve that, whether or not multiplayer people of Quake 3 really care. I think it would be a fantastic thing. I mean, I think they made, primarily, I guess, for the single player, just to get an enhanced version of Quake 1 and 2, but I think for Quake 3 they could do the same thing. Well, yeah, that's all I wanted to say about Quake 3. I'm really rooting for it, or hoping that the freaking Quake 3 enhanced port by Night Dive might happen. And yeah, I don't know. This probably won't be the last time I'll talk about this, because I've talked about this many times, and it shows how much I really want to say that by Night Dive. I really hope it happens. But yeah, let's get back to the music.
FPS Tracker Radio.
I spill my drink.
Next up we have El Blanco's Spirit Down, and this is another kind of a darker ambient sort of track. Very similar sort of vibe than the Warhead track that we just listened to by Nitro, but just a little more ambient, a little less sort of frantic and action-packed, I guess. I think that's what Warhead was. Basically marching music, that's what Warhead is. But yeah, Spirit Down is more like a stealthy sort of dark, how shall I put it, dystopian, technological sort of ambience by El Blanco. Here we go. That is what it is, and this is, of course,
FPS Tracker Radio.
Playing the best tunes in town.
I can feel it pulsing inside me.
Tracker Radio.
That was Spirit Down by El Blanco. I also don't know where they're from, but yep, do amazing sort of electronic tracks like that. Some ambient, some... Yeah, I don't know if they have more drum and bass, but they have certainly like different kinds of experimental electronic trackers here and there. Like this one is a very like sort of dark dystopian sort of electronic stealthy music. Spirit Down. I don't know what genre I should put this in, but yeah, it is just amazing. Now let's get back to the news. What should I have? I have some list of freaking news here over here. Let's start actually with the freshest one I got for this stream of FPS Tracker Radio, which is from like basically today, 2 hours ago. Swap Fire, the multiplayer sort of teleportation shooter, is free to grab on Steam. And I shall immediately put the link of Swap Fire to the freaking chat so you can claim it for yourself. And it says over here, Swap Fire was originally a Nintendo Wii U exclusive. With the closure of the Wii U eShop, we decided to preserve Swap Fire via Steam. We are especially excited about the Steam Remote Play Together, which allows Swap Fire's local multiplayer experience to go online for the first time. Please check out our video tutorial for Steam Remote Players. Yeah, so you basically can play it split screen locally, but also on the internet. Swap Fire is a high-intensity game show based on RQY's latest teleportation technology. Shooting other players swaps your locations. Using this simple principle, players must outwit and outmaneuver each other in 9 different game types. King of the Hill, Capture the Flag, Swalker, I guess Swap Soccer, Control Point, Find Buddy, Rally Point, Drop Zone, Jettison, and Race. It's the ultimate risk-reward proposition. Before players compete, they can tackle RQS training led by its revolutionary AI, which thinks that it's Dr. Nathan Rosen, co-creator of the EPR paradox. I think there's a bit of lore involved in this description as well. During training, contestants will learn all the ins and outs of Swap Fire, and if they're paying attention, they might stumble upon a few secrets. Oh, this is incredible. The limits. Swap Fire runs in full screen 720p at 60Hz with VSync disabled. Swap Fire does not have a typical PC game options. Our intent with this port from Wii U to PC is to preserve the game and hope that more people can enjoy it in multiplayer via Steam Remote Play Together. We have added a keyboard and mouse controls, but the game was designed for a controller, a Wii Remote no less. And in Steam Remote Play Together, only one player can use a mouse and keyboard, so it is advisable for all players to use controllers when competing. Interesting. The Steam Deck is a lot like the Wii U gamepad, only better. Swap Fire has never looked or played better than on this amazing device. Steam input is enabled by default, however you can disable it if any issues arise, such as inability to play local multiplayer. Thank you for playing. And this was a message by Jeremy Alessi, the director of the game. P.S. Be ever mindful of your space-time. Hell freaking yeah. This was announced 2 hours ago basically by the Motherlode, or Tyler Brennan, who's the responsible for the marketing for Swap Fire basically. And yeah, it is an interesting looking concept. I do wonder about like the controller thing though, that well it is a Wii U sort of title, or used to be, and yeah, it's just interesting how this would play on a kind of a the Steam remote control thing. Does show multiple screenshots of local multiplayer. That's really what it wants to do. I wonder if like the net play is very... There it is. But does it have any net play? Oh, dear lord. It would be funny if it like or very, very nice if it did. Ah damn, the trailer just played on my Steam. You couldn't hear that, but I could. I gotta pause that. There we go. It is interesting, well, especially like under the limits of Wii U, it still runs full screen 720p and 60Hz. But it doesn't look like you'd need more than that, basically, or at least the Hertz part. What if we wanted to play it on stream for a quick match? Probably not this stream though, but I do want to give it a go. Single player also looks pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm really curious where this would be taken, like out of the limitations basically, because it does say the limits, and it's very straightforward about that. You just have to scroll down a little bit, but yeah. It doesn't have a typical PC game options. I guess it would mean like all the graphics and like keyboard and mouse options or anything like that. Unless you have like the same sort of sensitivity settings for the controller as the mouse. Although how would you? Because it's basically the Wii U remote sort of thing. You wouldn't have any. The sensitivity of that would be just your own hand. That's how sensitive it would get. So it is interesting. I would be interested to play this with a keyboard and mouse. Yeah, especially in local multiplayer, which nowadays is a rarity unless you have a friend to play, of course, or a few friends even. That would be interesting. But yeah, there is Swapfire. You can see it yourself on, or see it for yourself on Steam from that very link right there, and claim it for free until Thursday. I think Motherlord said on the announcement. Yes. So he said, reminder to tell your friends to grab a Swapfire while it's still free on Steam. It will go $9.99. God damn the trailer! $9.99 on Thursday. That's what Motherlord says. Yeah, I'm at least curious to try out this in freaking single player, see how this plays. But I don't have a freaking Steam. What was it again? The Steam Remote Play Together thing. But once I might get a Steam Deck, I'm curious how this would play. But there you go. That is all I had to say about Swapfire. It's just a very, like, the most recent news I got for this. Basically, right at the start of the stream. Motherlord just announced that, so I wanted to include that over there. And, yeah. I have still a bunch of stuff to go through. I think I'll just go through them, like, fairly quickly. We have about 3 things, yeah, here. So we'll play some music and we'll go through the news when we go through them. But yeah, we pretty much only have one thing to say about the Sentinel sessions, and then I have a bit more boomer shooter news, basically, and more specifically classic FPS news. But yeah, before we get into that, I gotta play some more music. I think up next we could play Raybong by Baytremore and probably another track by somebody else. That was the Tokyo Dome mix. Bach and Destroy. Hell freaking yeah, I love this track by XTD. A Polish tracker composer, I believe, yes. But first we'll play Raybong by Jazzy as Baytremore, I believe from Finland. Even though the name sounds very much like, I don't know, as well as their music sounds like they're from somewhere else than Finland. But I think they are very much from Finland as well. But I want to somehow confirm that. But these trackers are, especially their descriptions and presentations of the freaking composers themselves, are so vague that I sometimes can't really confirm that. But yeah, we shall see. This is Raybong by Jazzy as Baytremore, also known as just Baytremore. If it plays. There we go, it does play. It's just very silent at the end. And in fact, I didn't have the music all the way up. Now I do. I shall be right back.
FPS Tracker Radio.
I spill my drink.
That was Patrick Ray Bong, and there's a bit of a silent moment at the very end of the track, like some of these do actually have. But up next, we have a trucker interpretation of a classical piece. Bach and Destroy is by XTD. You're of course listening to
FPS Trucker Radio. Impressive.
hell of a track by XTD, and oh no, we're not playing Viper yet. How about that? Those T-Fire freaking doing a head start. Yeah, there we go. We shall do more news, and I think I shall cover my own bit of news. Basically, if you have lived on, well, even if you haven't lived on Rock, you may have missed this, especially my last couple streams where I have covered the Sentinel sessions, and I will basically have a whole paragraph that I basically wrote for this because I don't know how else I would present this. I have started the Sentinel sessions in the Sentinel's Playground, the community-driven open, how shall I put it, server host service in further than Jonum sourceport of Doom 2. For those who don't know, the Sentinel's Playground, oh, actually, I just have it written here. I'm very professional with this. Anyway, for those who don't know, the Sentinel's Playground, commonly known as TSPG, is a community-driven Doom 2 multiplayer server host service further than Jonum sourceport. The service has two nodes to choose from, the North American Painkiller node located in New Jersey, US, and the European Euroburrows node located in Falkenstein, Germany. The recently established Sentinel sessions will revolve between these Painkiller and Euroburrows nodes every week. The sessions feature mostly good old deathmatch and co-op, sometimes with and sometimes without mods, as well as others in Jonum game modes like Last Man Standing, Team Deathmatch, and Capture the Flag and Invasion. Some sessions will also feature special mods such as Push and Doomware, which have their own unique kind of rules for multiplayer gameplay. Yes, oh hell, I am terrible in freaking English. Anyway, the sessions commence every Friday at around 10 to 11 p.m. CET or between 4 and 5 p.m. EST. The starting hours may still vary, but hopefully soon I'll have looked in either one. Feel free to attend if you have nothing scheduled for then or are just coincidentally bored at that time. Yeah. And I shall say the paragraph ends basically here, but yeah, I'm doing these every Friday now, and they get announced every Thursday first, just to let people know in advance, like what the next day might hold, what game mode and what mod, and yeah, specifically what mods, like addition add-on mods are basically. But yeah, it's basically, but when I did Eurobrowse community session, that was basically in Eurobrowse, but as that got merged with TSPG, I thought of rebranding the sessions. They're basically the same, although on a different day. I wanted Sunday free, because I work very early the next day, and Sunday at that time wasn't the best for me, really. So I decided to move that on Friday, and at a starting hour that's comfortable for both the Americans and the Europeans. And many people have said that that's not a good idea, Capelli. What the hell? You'll get just people from the US will be more pissed off when you just start on European hours, and then the Europeans will be more pissed off when you start at a later hour. So I did a kind of a compromise and started between, and Mame has stolen Sundays for the Fab sessions. Yeah, but. The first couple sessions that I've hosted, last week was Push, the week before that was Eon Weapons, that was the first ever Sentinel session. We got both Americans and Europeans, and I'm pretty happy with the amount of players we've gotten already for the first 2 sessions, from both continents even, and beyond that even. Mifu, for example, joined all the way from Australia, and Mifu coincidentally is also the founder of TSPG, well, one of the founders anyway, of TSPG. But yeah, now the lead of TSPG is Aiko. I think I mentioned this in the previous FPS Tracker Radio, but yeah, just as a recap, the leadership was given to Aiko by Nax and Marquet, who have now retired from TSPG, and Nax can focus more on his, in general, his life stuff and everything else, and then Marquet has more focus on both that and the Zenjonum community, and specifically its Discord and the forums and everything else. So he has one less burden to carry, and they've given that to Aiko, who I think is very much a worthy person to carry that. He has the technical knowledge, he has just brilliant knowledge on just the server systems and Ubuntu, stuff that I don't have. But I've also recently been, I think about, when was that? A week ago? No, it was when I established, it was 2 weeks ago basically, when I established the Sentinel sessions. I was promoted from moderator to a community admin essentially, so I'll be taking care of the community of TSPG and promoting TSPG itself, as well as representing, how shall I put it, community-driven server hosting option for people, instead of using the ye old options of doing it either through Doomseeker or through other means. We offer the same thing, but with limits, of course, as well as rules. So you better, of course, read all that. But yeah, I'm happy to represent all that. And in general, I think I'm more connected with all, or most communities all over Doom than Aiko as well. So yeah, I have more time on that, and Aiko has more time on just looking after the technical side. Yeah, I don't know if I should probably mention that we are also looking for a US kind of moderator, but we require that like you have experience on Zenjonum itself, and we'll evaluate the rest basically, whether you are just capable enough for a moderation task at all. But you have to be from, it doesn't have to be from US, but North America in general. We're looking for more sort of North American staff, because most of the staff right now is European, myself included, as well as the lovely Shakar Attar, as well as her fiance Proverbial. But yeah, it is just yeah, that's fair enough, meme. It has been very, very difficult to find the like sort of suitable people for doing the same thing, but in North American hours, and specifically in Painkiller in the US node of TSPG. It is it's gonna be difficult for us. I only know a few, well, not even a few, couple candidates, but I don't know if they really want to. That's another thing, like their willingness of wanting to do such a task. I mean, so far, I mean, the days that I was moderator and while I'm still admin, I mean, the only thing that I'm really doing is the community sessions every week. But on top of that, I really haven't needed to do much moderating. It is just in case of any emergencies or anything like that, that I might do certain stuff and then of course take action on any troublemakers. But yeah, that's about it. It happens only ever so often, but you'll be there basically when needed. Not of course during your sleeping hours or working hours, but just when you're able. It is something to look into. Never really touched there, but that's a can of old worms. In moderation duties in general, yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know how to tell about that. I mean, I've had certainly different experiences than many other people as moderators, especially Melee Mario. He's told me the same things, but and I won't go into that. But yeah, it can be a double-edged sword. It really, sometimes you don't really know what you're getting yourself into, and it's not really the fault of anyone. Sometimes, it can be whatever thing doing whatever. It's as much as I wanted to say about that. But yeah, we are looking for a North American moderator person that knows. You don't even have to have much knowledge about Zenjonum. We'll go through all the necessary stuff and necessary commands, but it is extremely helpful if you do. And yeah, and even more helpful if you know the systems of TSPG, or you know Ubuntu or stuff like that. You'll be probably focusing more on the moderation itself rather than the technical stuff, but it would be beneficial, let's just say that. I have basically zero of that knowledge, of the Ubuntu knowledge. But yeah, I'm also, rather, instead of doing that, I'm taking care of the community. So yeah, we're looking for any sort of people. Community person, technical person, I don't know. Anybody. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about TSPG's recent changes and the Sentinel sessions. And actually, Mame, to your question about what I'm doing in the FAT meeting on Saturday, Aiko and I, it'll be mainly probably me talking about TSPG's recent changes, as well as the establishment of the Sentinel sessions. That's basically what I'll do. I think it'll only take like 10 minutes, pretty much. If even that. I don't think it'll... I think maybe even 5 minutes. I don't know. I want to reserve 10 minutes for that, just in case, as well as... Well, especially if people have questions. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing with Aiko. And yeah, Aiko will be there, of course, as the owner, but like he knows more about the technical stuff that I don't know. And if people have questions about that, he'll be able to answer those better than I am. So yeah, I'm going to have a small... Just a brief talk about TSPG's recent changes and the new Sentinel sessions. That's basically it. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. So now let's move on back to the music.
FPS Tracker Radio.
Next up, I don't know what I should get from this list. I have the Viper Tracker in standby here. That's by T-Fire. That's also very, very nice. It's a difficult little decision to do. There's so much good music over here. Ooh, I think I know actually what to play. I'll play the Tempest 2000 Club Mix. What is it? Yeah, Club Remix by Acheron. Tempest 2000 soundtrack. It is just so freaking good. Like, it was recommended to me by Fuzzball, and they basically said that this sounds so much like tracker music, and it probably is in Tempest 2000, but I don't know. It was probably written in a tracker software, maybe, but it is in like CD audio form, and it is so freaking good. But Acheron here, I don't know if they are the composer. I don't really think so. They've just got the same samples anyway that is in the track name Mind's Eye in Tempest 2000, and they've made a hell of a club remix in the Fast Tracker 2 format. And this is it. Tempest 2000 club remix by Acheron.
FPS Tracker Radio.
Computer updated.
Play. continue with a surprise by Elwood, and this is Little Man, and it is just a fantastic freaking track to listen to while traveling in space, in warp freaking speed. You're listening to
FPS Trekker Radio.
Playing the best of the best tunes in town.
Elwood and Little Man, that's what the tracker was called, and yeah, brilliant little sort of space-like tracker. I really love Elwood's style. I just don't know what it is, like, most of it just sounds very, I don't know how to describe it, like, it's some game music, but it's like Nintendo game music. That's what it slightly sounds like. I might be wrong. I mean, this is very much, this track right here, and kind of reminded me of Star Fox, maybe? Something like that, but I don't know. Also, like, tracks or the games by different companies on like Nintendo consoles, they have a distinctive style in the music. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's very similar to this. Very, very similar to Elwood's style and the samples and the way he uses them. Next up in the news, oh yes, Slibratsky's Indie FPS of the Year 2024 showcase will happen on December 14th at 6 p.m. Central Europe time. What can I say about this? I mean, Slim Bradsky already did a heck of a showcase this summer, this spring. It was more or less in like April, May, June. I don't remember when it was exactly, but it was huge, and he worked on that all by himself. I don't know if he's actually gotten some support to do this one, especially when there's just so many freaking games to cover in a single showcase. But if he's done this all by himself again, holy freaking heck. I'll link the upcoming stream on YouTube itself. That is going to be live on indeed December 14th at 6 p.m. Central Europe time. Check your own time zone to see whatever that is, at least the starting hour. I really am hyped for this. Because, yeah, Slim Bradsky did a hell of a job at just not only doing the whole thing by himself, but just, like, this was previously held by, like, well, or a similar FPS kind of showcase was held by Realms Deep, or 3D Realms essentially. It was made by 3D Realms, but yeah, there was the Realms Deep showcase event every September, pretty much. I think it used to be even summer, but then they slightly delayed it further and further into the fall, and it was always in September, I think in 2022 and 2023, until 3D Realms, of course, if you haven't read the news, they did the Embracer thing. They got out of it, thankfully, but yeah, Embracer did terrible things to a lot of its subsidiaries, including 3D Realms, so 3D Realms just wanted out of that as soon as possible, but it was left in a hell of a state. And they weren't able to do another Realms Deep. They just, I don't know if they actually announced that out loud, but they just didn't announce one. And so what Slim Bradsky did about 6 months later was just the most amazing freaking showcase that the boomer shooter scene has ever seen. And he did that all by himself. Hello, Angelo. I just heard the freaking Streamlabs chatbot doing the sound for myself, but you couldn't hear that. He just, like, it was such an amazing showcase, and it's especially adorable that he, like, at the very end of the whole thing, he looked at, went through the whole video, saw the reaction of the chat, saw just the reaction of different streamers, like, and at the end he just wanted to say just a few words. And of course he was moved. Of course everybody else was moved by the fact that he did that all by himself. That whole showcase gathered up so many trailers for that thing, and no doubt he's done the same thing for this, the FPS of the year 2024, with a shooter game showcase. That's the full title. But the title of the video right there that I linked, oh, no, not the title, but the description of the video says, ending the year with a big bang, 25 of the best FPS games in 2024, 70 plus upcoming indie games, and 35 giveaways, exclusive trailers, announcements. Join the Discord and vote for your favorite FPS today. And I can also link, you can also see the Discord link from the video's link, but I'm going to link it separately as well. There it is. There is Slim Bradsky's Discord invite, and you can join over there and join a myriad of awesome people who all love the boomer shooter scene, as well as all the games showcased in it, especially on December 14th at 6 p.m. Central Europe time, as that's when the Indie FPS showcase of the year 2024 will happen. I don't know what else to say. It also, that link, the video link, has also a trailer already done, and I think Slim Bradsky very recently, as recently as today at 3 p.m. my time, which was about 7 hours ago, did the trailer for the whole thing. And yeah, it already showcases a lot of what's to come, but there's a lot more inside the showcase, I bet. I mean, holy hell. I do recommend that. Highly recommended to check that out. So, That's all I wanted to say about that. I bet it'll be even bigger than the first Limbreski showcase that he did that all by himself, and it was just the best ever freaking showcase the scene has ever had, and I think this will be even better. That's how much I'm looking forward to this. But anyway, yeah, that is all I wanted to say about that.
FPS Tracker Radio.
That boy bust a gut.
I reckon he did indeed. Let's see what we have in the storage of trackers this time. We have, let's see. Could play Dark Halo a little bit, then I think I could play another tracker after that. Oh, maybe that one. Here we go. So, yeah, indeed, the next tracker is by Dark Halo. I haven't discovered many tracks from them, like just because I don't think I could. They didn't make, according to Modland or Mod Archive, many trackers, but the ones that I did find are just simply amazing. There's a bit of a drum and bassy. I think this is really jungle. Is more like it is more like jungle, I would say. It is Far From Here, in brackets, time-lapse clouds mix, and it is just beautifully ambient kind of jungle track. So indeed, this is Dark Halo's tracker Far From Here, time-lapse clouds mix. was Dark Halos, Far From Here, Timeless Cosmics, XM Tracker. Quite a nice ambient little jungle piece. Beautiful little sounds. But up next we have more Finnish tracker music by G9. Quite an obscure but awesome freaking composer. A bit more hip-hoppy tunes. This is Strange World.
FPS Tracker Radio.
That was Strange World by G9. Finnish tracker composer, indeed. And they make, all sorts of experimental stuff, including this one, kind of a hip-hoppy theme. I don't have many hip-hoppy stuff in my tracker list, let alone this FPS Tracker Radio list. I should discover more of that, because I really love stuff like this. In fact, when I tried searching for, like, ambient sort of hip-hop like this, it's extremely difficult, in my opinion, in Mod Archive or like especially Modland, where you can't really search for the genre itself. You just have to guess who is doing what sort of genre. That is a whole kind of a freaking dice roll every single time. Just what you get from Modland and like from what sort of artist. Most of it is chiptune, which is quite honestly something I am not a fan of all the tracker stuff, which might come to people as a surprise. Like, oh, yes, he likes tracker music, but what the hell, he doesn't like chiptune? Yeah, that's right. Not a huge fan of that. It really depends. There's just only a select taste that I have. But, not really... not as deep as for the freaking drum and bassy stuff, or just like the more of the 16-bit stuff rather than the 8-bit stuff, the chiptuney stuff. So I really have more freaking flavor on that. Hello, Nico Jork. I sadly don't have commands like that on my stream. But yeah, especially the sort of trackers that are from like the turn of the millennium and just that they have that sort of special tone, especially all the freaking freaking 5 years plus. I have no idea. You're first time chatting with me, so I have no idea. But well, welcome. In any case, we're doing the FPS Tracker Radio, where I cover FPS game news as well as play a bunch of tracker music of my own choosing, of my own very delicate taste. But yeah, the turn of the millennium trackers just have I don't know what it is about them. It's just the Y2K is just so special. What did I do 5 years ago? Exactly 5 years ago, I was doing a series of classic FPS playthroughs and just going through a bit of history of them in my series called The Goals of FPS. But on top of that, I also did Quake Champions tournaments, occasionally on my channel, but also on different people's channel, especially the tournament organizers' channels. But I also played Quake Champions on my own stream 5 years ago. What else did I do? About 2019, nearly 2020. Well, you said 5+ years, so I guess 2019. Yeah, Quake Champions stuff. Less of the Doom stuff that I do nowadays, but yeah, Quake Champion stuff and all the classic FPS stuff. Classic FPS games, things. That's what I did. But in any case, welcome back, no matter if you remember me or not. But yeah, nowadays I do my own sort of radio thing where I just talk about the FPS kind of genre news, especially on the more indie side of things, as well as Doom news, Quake news, all the sort of classic FPS that interest me, but also just in general. I'm just so interested in the genre itself that yeah, I did first my playthrough series where I covered their history a little bit, and now I'm doing a sort of a radio thing where I talk about them more and play the very music I like. But on top of that, nowadays I also do like Doom streams every Friday from now on. We play multiplayer sessions, and on top of that, I actually gotta get back to the regular stuff that I used to do, like a playthrough of Sulaco is very much like something I have to finish, because I did that. How long? Not a command. Yeah, I don't really have those usual. I don't know if those are Nightbot commands or something like that. But yeah, I don't have the usual followage or how long commands available. Only the commands that you see on the title of the stream are available, and that's about it. But yeah, where was I? The last bit of news I wanted to cover was it was very, very much tied to classic FPS. So classic it goes to Unreal and Unreal Tournament. Their installation files or packages or whatever were given to old Unreal website, the website that just first covered the community patches to Unreal and Unreal Tournament. I think just Unreal Gold though, I don't know. Maybe also Unreal Tournament. But now they also have the full games, full installation packages for the games themselves. And that's very much thanks to Epic Games giving them the green light to distribute them for free. Which is incredible. Like, Epic Games just finally understood like the value of their just heritage, I should say, because that's where the Unreal Engine really started. Started from the game Unreal. And I don't know what got into their senses. My guess is, as I've written here on my notes as well, that perhaps David Szymanski's words convinced Tim Sweeney, the head of Epic Games, because I dug David Szymanski's tweet, and that was well over a year ago. This was 24th of September 2023. This was some freaking ongoing retweeting of some gaming industry stuff, especially between the kind of distribution to Valve or distribution to Epic sort of discussion. But David Szymanski retweeted a thing from another tweet that he quote tweeted, "Unpopular opinion, I'd rather pay Valve 30% and put up with their de facto monopoly than help Epic work towards their own in brackets very obviously desired monopoly." Favorite MIDI sound font? Ooh, that's a difficult question. I really like the Arachno sound font, to be honest. But I know that's not a very popular choice. I just like the guitar so much. That's what got me to do the trailers of Insanity Deathmatch and Insanity Survival in the Arachno sound font, basically. But yeah, back to the topic at hand. David Szymanski said that, and he continues in several freaking chained tweets that Epic has raised numerous red flags over the years that they are, I guess Valve is a volatile, aggressive company who will turn whatever resources they have toward fighting genuine or perceived competitors, be it money, fans, or ideological support. Well, I think they're actually talking about Epic here, but maybe they are ideologically motivated, maybe they are just good at disguising business moves as ideology. Neither is trustworthy, in my opinion. Ideological business motivations are only good so long as the ideology isn't toxic. And I guess that is what Epic is, rather than Steam. But then somebody called Punk Thug, or PVNKTHVG, asked David Szymanski, sorry to ask, but I'm not too familiar with the situation. What do you mean by them waging an ideological war at all? And David Szymanski responded, Tim Sweeney is very vocal about Epic making certain decisions for ideological reasons, like fighting Apple, bickering with Unity, undercutting Steam's rev share, etc. And here is where Tim Sweeney himself, the head of Epic himself, stepped in and answered, these are basic, non-political American principles I'm advocating for, such as free markets and fair competition versus allowing monopolies in one market, like phones, to crush competitors in other markets, like stores and payments. And then David Szymanski replying, Tim, I have immense respect for the work you've done over your career and what you've accomplished, but I simply do not believe those are the reasons behind the actions so much as they are a convenient justification for the actions. Furthermore, my stance seen above is that if those are genuinely the motivations behind Epic's decisions, I don't see that as any more safe or reliable. A company that pursues money can be predicted, a company that fights for ideology much less so. Put frankly, I have no guarantee as a developer that either EGS, or Epic Game Store, or the Unreal Engine or anything made with it wouldn't be leveraged for some future quote-unquote American value battle you decide to wage, given Epic's history of leveraging assets for ideological battles. And then Tim Sweeney replied to that very tweet that these are principles we've held all along, from the shareware days to present, and argued for in all of our dealings with platform makers, in private where that was effective and in public where necessary. No strange ideology or isms there. And then David Szymanski found a very appropriate time to say this. Would you be willing to return Unreal Gold to all storefronts in the name of the free market then? And this very tweet has... Well, first of all, the very first tweet that, like, David Szymanski started this talk has 2 million views, and David Szymanski himself is kind of an indie developer, or used to be, making Dusk for New Blood, and the tweet where he replied to Tim Sweeney has over 700,000 views compared to Tim Sweeney's. It's just incredible. Minuscule freaking amount of views, and it is basically because of this incredible freaking burn of a reply that Tim Sweeney himself had no answer for. Fancy that. And there's a bit of history, like Unreal, I think Unreal and Unreal Tournament were delisted from Steam at the beginning of 2023, and about 9 months later, David Szymanski got an opportunity to say this to Tim Sweeney. It's like, would you be willing to return Unreal Gold to all storefronts in the name of the free market then? Tim Sweeney had no response until about a bit over a year later, a year and 2 months, in November this year. Epic gave the installation packages, or whatever they are, to the old Unreal website for free. They gave them a green light. Yeah, go ahead. It's freeware now. Yeah, fine. I guess that's Tim Sweeney's response. I think he admitted his defeat to David Szymanski. I'm pretty sure that was what happened. And I think, like, the reason I think specifically that is because they only gave Unreal and Unreal Tournament to the old Unreal website, and David Semeski is only saying return Unreal Gold and not Unreal Tournament, but they gave Unreal and Unreal Tournament. I wonder what the deal is with Unreal Tournament 2004 then, or Unreal Tournament 3, or Jazz Jackrabbit, or Epic Pinball, and whatever else they delisted from every freaking storefront possible. It's interesting that they only returned Unreal and Unreal Tournament to the public, to be available to the public anyway, and didn't do the same for the rest. That could be also because like Unreal and Unreal Tournament servers are largely just backed up by the community, and UT 2004, for example, I think it had some issue where you actually needed GameSpy or something, and I don't know if they're figuring out the proper support for that, or if they're planning for a freaking re-release or something eventually for UT 2004 or UT 3. I am hopeful, and like I have been hopeful thus far. That has paid off quite well, because Unreal and Unreal Tournament are freaking free to download on old Unreal right now. And in fact, I could actually find the very link. Old Unreal. Old Unreal downloads. Where the hell is it? There's so much stuff. Oh yeah, they even gave Unreal... Wait, Unreal 2? Huh? Unreal 2? In this section you can find Unreal 2 related downloads, no description yet. The Unreal 2 The Awakening Unreal 2 or something else. Well, in any case, you can find all that from old Unreal's website, the download page over there. And yeah, it is... I agree with you, Angelo, like they just took down their entire foundation, like including Jazz Jackrabbit, and just focused solely on Fortnite. And on top of that, they also just got the development team of UT 2004 from UT 2004 to Fortnite, and then abandoned that game entirely instead. And yeah, it is just you just somehow, I don't know, Epic Games has become more and more vague and less understandable in every freaking decision they make. But yeah, as far as I can understand, they are mainly about the money more than everything else. But at least it shows, like this shows that they have some sort of a nostalgia kind of thing, as well as kind of at least a little bit of respect of for their old past. Like they probably acknowledge even a little bit, I want to believe, that Unreal is where the engine started, of course. And yeah, I really hope they do the same thing for UT 2004 and any other freaking game they've ever done. How difficult that is, we don't know, and like how willing they are to do that, we have yet to even know. But if they've been willing to do Unreal and Unreal Tournament, this thing, and I guess Unreal 2, whatever that is, I need to look into that. It looks like it's kind of a thing they were working on, maybe a sequel to Unreal. I mean, the 2 would suggest that, but it doesn't say like that it's returned in a poly at all. Yeah, I don't think so. Old Unreal says, yeah, full game installers. Holy hell. Yeah, well, there you go. You have a lot of different downloads for older Unreal titles. Mainly Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament. Most likely it's the Unreal 2002 sequel, I believe. No, I don't think so. It shows a different screenshot, I'm pretty sure. It shows a much older screenshot. But I might be wrong on that. This looks more like it's on like Unreal. Wait, I gotta look into. Oh, it's a very small screenshot. I can't really have a closer look whether that's in Unreal Engine 1 or 1.5 where Unreal 2 was made on. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. And yeah, I'm really happy that they are back in the public's hands, basically, to be available. And yeah, previously you'd just need somebody's like GOG download to get Unreal or Unreal Tournament, or if you had the CD, itself of either game or both games, then of course you could just always enjoy that whenever you would want. Because that was back in the big box days. But yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to cover. It's just incredible. I think Tim Sweeney might have silently admitted defeat to not only David Szymanski and his series of tweets over a year ago, but also to the general public that, yeah, maybe this wasn't a good idea. I'll go back a little bit, Tim said, and gave Unreal and Unreal Tournament for free. Flatpak and open source digital application are going to make some rad standalone. Hell freaking yeah. But yeah, let's go back to the music. And let's see what we have on the list itself.
FPS Tracker Radio.
And since this was the last piece of news, I shall only go through so many tracks, but I think I'll play a few and then I'll give somebody a rate on Twitch. But yeah, before you go, there's a lot of music to listen to. Let's see, that's an 8 PM tracker. Ooh, that's a good one. A bit of a short tracker to play as the first one, but we'll be playing Utopia Planitia by, Alpha C as the first track. Let's see for the next few ones. Ooh. Extenses, the legendary TB303 track as the second one. When I think the stream is going to be very nice to end on this track. I think I'll play like 4 trackers, more or less. That is spectrum, color spectrum. Let's see. Yeah, maybe this as the last track. Pretty much. Yeah, there we go. First, we'll be playing, of course, Alpha C's Utopia Planitia. Up next right here. You are listening to FPS Tracker Radio, and we'll be playing only a few trackers. So of course, Utopia Planitia by Alpha C.
FPS Tracker Radio.
Playing the best tunes in town.
Oh, hell yeah! The legendary TB303. This is a magnificent freaking... I don't know what freaking genre this is. I mean, Some of you might actually know, but I just don't know, but I fucking love it. Electronic tracker at its finest. From the very turn of the millennium, this is the legendary TB303 by Extens. That was the legendary TB303 by Extens, and up next, I think this will be the last full tracker that I'll play on stream, and after this I'll play Hypnotize by Gilmore, and during that I'll execute the raid and then raid somebody on Twitch, but this is Mechanical Jaws by Hocus Pocus.
FPS Tracker Radio.
love these chimes. I love this bass. I love the drum and bass riff of the entire track. This is Mechanical Jaws by Hocus Pocus, right from 1999, just before the millennium shifted. I especially love this repeating sample at the very end of the track, but yeah, that was the last track that I will play on this very stream, and up next we have Hypnotized by Gilmore, and during that track I will be rating somebody. I think I'll be rating Napsalm, and they're playing Austerity from this year's Cacowards. So during this raid, Hypnotized will be playing, but not fully, because the stream will be basically over by the time the raid ends. But just listen to it very briefly. This is indeed Hypnotized by Gilmore. You have been listening to
FPS Tracker Radio.
Computer updated.
Go ahead and raid Napsalm. Indeed, they are doing Cacowards 2024, and from that they are doing Austerity. And indeed, thank you very much for listening and tuning in. You're listening to the last few seconds of Hypnotize. I ended up playing it fully anyway. Just took a while to search for like possibly a better stream, but yep, here we go. We're raiding Napsalm. We shall see you sometime, likely on Friday, if not earlier. Likely not earlier. So, see you on Friday on the next Sentinel session. We're doing some co-op. Bon voyage. Best of luck to your future endeavors. You have been listening to
FPS Tracker Radio.
Goodbye for now, and give Napsalm all the love. Be seeing ya.